Hey, listener, I've got a preemptive correction for this episode. In short, we discussed the James Webb Space Telescope, and I erroneously said that it was a radio telescope, meaning, just picking up radio waves and sounds and all that such. But no. It's a regular, space observational telescope with mirrors and all that stuff. The word I was looking for was infrared. That's what's special about this telescope, which we will discuss later on. I just don't mention it's infrared because I didn't have a lot of information that I could remember, but I will post some notes as to what the space telescope's all about if you're interested in watching or listening, whatever I post. We'll find out. Now on to the show.
FX presents the Indu Podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indubians. I'm T. Sterling Watson.
And I'm Courtney.
This is the Indu Podcast, where morning drive time meets late night talk show as we aim to entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. We're recording live from the south side of Wakanda in the little new Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive, which, before we continue, not little new Indubia, but new Indubia is the name of my town in the hit game Township on your mobile device. So,
ooh, yeah. Nice.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've been, I don't want to say obsessed with, but that's kind of what I've been doing. And I'm like, I'd rather be doing something else, like playing with my game and farming and getting my townspeople happy. Yeah.
Farming sims are the best. I'll tell you that.
I've kind of been avoiding them ever since Farmville back in Facebook days. Yeah.
But I don't know. They're different. Farmville, got its start by copying off of many other, tried and true and many other beloved games. So try to separate the good farming. I'm not saying Farmville wasn't good, but just try to separate whatever feelings you have towards Farmville and apply them towards, or redirect them towards other sims, other games that are far better.
I agree. And I guess I really can't say anything bad about Farmville because I never actually played. I just kept getting invites from all these quote unquote friends on Facebook. And I'm like, nope, I want no parts of this. Leave me alone. Stop sending me invites, which I really don't know if people still, I don't know if they play that game. I don't know if they still send game invites. I know that this game invites me to invite my friends on Facebook, but I'm like, no, I don't want to be that person. So
I think my issue with Farmville, I know this is not what we're supposed to be talking about today on the show, but I think my issue with Farmville is it's ties to Facebook. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Because my mom was very much into Farmville for a long time. And then when that fizzled out, I started getting more into gaming, I guess several years difference, but now I'm really into gaming, and she kind of makes fun of me, and I'm like, "What? You did this? You were me not long ago, lady."
I mean, I feel like you and I have that kind of relationships too sometimes, where I'll be doing a thing, and then you'd be like, "Nah, poo poo," or something. I don't know. I just feel like that we've had that kind of tension before, and the tables have been turned. I can't think of specific examples, but we've been friends for so long. I just can't put it past us.
I was about to say, you're probably making it up just to make me look bad or something. That's what it sounds like.
And who said it's making you look bad? I'm just saying that it's just our dynamic where it's just I will come across a thing, and then usually that's kind of what happens is that I'll find a thing oh, you got to check this out. And then you'll eventually come around to it, which you have. And I will give you points, many, many points, because you've caught up on a lot of things. in this past week or so.
You just
So
like to throw things at me during times where I'm like, I'm overwhelmed by suggestions. I'm not taking any more suggestions at this time.
and
But I do come around when the
yeah,
time is right for me.
right. And I would like to also interject that you are one of, I will say, maybe three people who would be like, how come you didn't tell me about such and such a thing?
Exactly.
So
So
I
you
do
just have
my
to catch me
part.
at the right time.
I
Yeah.
do I do my part and I tell you about such and such a thing. It's up
Uh-huh.
to you then to go forth and indulge in that thing. And then there's some
And
things
that's
that I'm
fair.
right. And there's some things I'm surprised that like either like you was like, how come you didn't tell me? And I'm like, I didn't know that would be something you'd be into. Like
Mm-hmm.
I, again, can't think of examples, but I've learned over the years, like, okay, this is something that she might like. Maybe I'll tell her anyway. And then she's like, meh. I'm like, okay, well, I, I put it out there. At least she
It's
knows.
not up to you to dictate and to decide what I'm gonna like. That's up to me. Your job is just to bring it to me as a loyal and dedicated friend. That's
This
your job.
this is true, but as you know, I come across like so much information and so much of the time that I
Mm-hmm.
would literally be talking to you every day, which I'm sure you wouldn't have a problem with, but I'd be telling you everything that I've learned that day as if it was like a checkoff, like the news basically. And it's
I'm okay
probably
with that.
you use me as the news, I think.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know how to tune it out when it's too much.
Mm-hmm,
Give
mm-hmm.
me a little bit of credit.
And then I'd start turning into the parents of like Charlie Brown, like wah 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 wah, and then when you just don't really care anymore. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You've zoned out,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd
Yeah.
be like, it's like you're doing right now, like yeah yeah yeah, just the signifiers that you're listening, but you're not really that you're present
I'm
or you're there.
listening. I'm
I
present. I'm
I know
here.
you are you are.
Yeesh.
I would like to say that we are both now, I guess, first time COVID survivors. So we've made it
Ugh,
through.
yes. I mean, it only took 2 years and the newest variant to get me. So, you know, and to this day, I mean, it's only been a week since about not even a week since I tested positive. And so I'm still kind of like quarantining. I'm still kind of just home
Mhm.
and, living my best life. Definitely feeling better. Didn't have it bad in the first place. So I'm very grateful for that. But I don't know how I even got it. Have been
And
doing everything right, I thought.
and
And here I am.
that's the thing with the Omega bomb. It's just it's crazy.
Oh
It's
my
out there.
God.
It's I mean it's it just sneaks in. Like if you don't have like either the
Apparently.
proper masks or you're not
Mhm.
masked correctly or at
Yeah.
all, because you also have that issue too sometimes. And
Yeah.
I've come across that a few times, just even in my workplace, which is like the last place that should be happening. But here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, and it just happens. And this one is like, as people know, or they should know, it's very highly contagious.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't make its presence until like maybe 2 days after you probably have gotten it, which
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. It does suck. But I mean, I will say, I don't know if it's because this variant is just a little bit more mild anyway, or if the vaccination is doing its job, or just both. I like to think it's both because I am double vax. I was supposed to get my booster basically the weekend after I tested positive, so
Mm-hmm.
that was postponed. But I am double vax, so I think that really made a difference in the severity for me, and I'm just grateful that it wasn't worse.
Right. And same for me too. And I was also in a very similar situation where I ended up getting my booster the week after, like I kind of recovered more or less. So I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
at least I got my triple, and I'm glad I have the app too. So I can actually
Mm,
show, like if I had to
yeah,
use it
me
as a
too.
passport basically. So
Yeah,
that's a plus. So I'm like, ooh, I'm all, and in fact, I'm just excited. Like everything's kind of rolling in. And this is more so for my moment of gratefulness for later. I'll get back to it later because all of this ties together. But just a bunch of the work that you have to do for adulting, a lot of it was starting to roll in just before we started like recording. So I'm just grateful. So I'm gonna go pick up my prescription because I had to transfer things from one city to the next. Like I've been living here for a year now, and I'm still going to my hometown to go get my
mm,
drugs. So
yeah.
So I
Glad you're
finally,
changing that.
yeah, I finally switched over. And I mean, the last thing the really big major thing I need to do next is to renew my license. And I mean, it was already going to expire this year, but since especially I'm in a new location, I need
Mm-hmm.
to definitely change that. So
Yep.
it's next
Agreed.
on the list. But
Good for you.
yeah. I mean, but with all this, with these variants that are just evolving and just taking over mankind, it made me think of the movie War of the Worlds and how
yes.
and how that's what killed the aliens. They're the ones that tried to invade and attack us. They're not going to survive because like Omicron and
Water.
Delta and all of them. Well, no, that's signs. Signs is what killed them.
Well, I
And
thought
or
War of the
water.
Worlds. Well, I
Hmm?
thought War of the Worlds, like they couldn't handle. I thought it was okay. So yeah, signs was water, but I thought it was because they couldn't handle some of the bacteria, some of the
I was
bacteria
going to leave you
here
alone.
on
I wasn't going
Earth.
to say anything, but
I'm not that needed to be corrected, but
okay.
yeah. So I thought it was because in War of the World,
Mm-hmm.
it was because of like the bacteria or something here. No?
Right. That's War of the Worlds.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. So not water, but
No, water
something
is in
like
signs.
whatever. So anyway.
Well, do you remember? Well, I mean, that was like that movie really creeped me out the first time I saw it because I was like in the dark and
Oh,
I saw like shadows like by the doorway and I'm like, oh no,
uh-huh.
something
Yeah,
coming to get.
they're in your house now.
Right,
Yep.
right. So, I mean, and water being the thing that I mean, it was also kind of stupid too. It's like, why would you land on a planet that was mostly
With
water anyway?
right. You're an idiot. You're an alien. Like you have the tech to get here.
Right.
Which means you have the tech to like understand something about the planet you're about to land on. Whose fault is this, alien?
Then
Come on.
again, we as dumb humans as we are, we would probably do the same thing. Like, oh, it's mostly lava. There's a little patch over there we can land on. Okay, let's take a look anyway.
That's true. And
Mm-hmm.
they probably didn't think, the aliens probably didn't think that water, of all the things, or bacteria or whatever, of all the things, was going to wipe them out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows?
I don't
I'm
know.
not an alien, so I can't like vouch for them.
I feel like that'd be a fun deep dive to do one day. That's not on the agenda for today.
Oh,
So
darn.
we'll have to go
Missed
back.
opportunities.
I know, right? I mean, we sit here and just analyze and like, well, what's the point of the crop circles? Why were you doing? I mean, it's been
Yeah.
a long time since I've actually seen the movie, so I'm going based
You
on
know,
like maybe a
I
10-year
don't
memory.
even know if I've seen all of Signs. I've seen the highlights. I know clearly like what it's about for the most part, but I don't know that I've ever seen Signs because it freaked me out too.
Mm.
It was enough to be like, you know what? I don't. This is too close to home. And even though it's probably not that scary of a movie because it's Signs,
Right.
I just it was one that I skipped. I'm not bad about it.
Well, let's say it was a time where it was before people really like started to, and I'm putting this in quotes again, more, there's a bunch of air quotes happening all over the place, but
Mm-hmm.
before people canceled Mel Gibson. And this was
Right, that's true.
this was back when I think before at least I knew Joaquin Phoenix to be the thespian that he is. So
Uh-huh. I don't think that's how you say his name though.
it's how I say his name. So I don't know if he'll respond to it, but it
Well,
helps me to remember how to spell it too. So
I don't think that's accurate though, but live your best life.
I will. I will put on my cologne and I will go and speak to
Oh
Joaquin
my gosh.
about giraffes. So
Oh,
yes.
Lord Jesus.
And we will eat pecans together.
Oh, you're just a monster.
I just like to take a moment here and say how much I love my wife because she now also says pecans. Just just
monsters. You're both monsters.
I will
And
be
that
successful
poor
once I
baby.
get the kid to also say pecans. Although I think
I
he
just
just
wish I
giggled.
could rescue him.
Oh, I thought you wanted to be here and watch it while it happens live. Like, yes.
No.
I've converted another one.
No.
My master plan is starting to flourish and just already the world.
No. Wrong. Incorrect.
War of the worlds of pecans. Anyway, yes, World of Worlds. Yes, it's still a great movie. I feel like we reference, or at least I think about referencing it often because of how it's one of those movies back in the days of cable, of actually changing the channel if it was on. I'd definitely be watching it because it's great like that. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. I feel like I
don't
ask
know.
this question like once every few months, and now I need to check as we actually move on to other things. 2005. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Streaming on, huh?
Nothing.
Oh, streaming on TBS with cable TV. So, no.
They're trying to rope us back into cable TV.
Absolutely not.
Cable TV is not where it's at. Okay, we're streaming. We're gonna do this. We're not going back to cable. Like,
I will pull
stop
out
trying
a
to make
DVD.
cable happen.
Right.
Do you have the DVD?
I do. I mean, back when DVDs were a thing, people were collecting them like me. And now we're like, I don't even have a DVD player. I mean, I have a Blu-ray player, but I haven't used that either. Like, it's not even connected to anything. It's just sitting there. And I feel sad because I'm like, because there are
a DVD player still that I'm ready to get rid of because I upgraded to a Blu-ray player.
Right. And when was the last time you used it?
Not long ago, because I actually got The Office, the whole series on. I asked for Blu-ray, but I got it on DVD. But whatever, we're getting over that. Anyways,
reading comprehension to whoever got it to.
Right. Anyway, I got the series finally, and so I had to watch it, of course. And so I used it actually pretty recently.
Okay, fair. I can't say when I used my Blu-ray player last. Like I said, it's not. It made the move. Obviously, I just haven't connected it to the TV, and I don't know. Don't know. But I will figure it out. In the meantime, I think we'll just get on with because we haven't done any segments yet this year. Because our last episode was, just a roundup, if you will, of last year, and good times. But time to get back to some old school Indubian activities, shenanigans. Nice. So, but we'll start with something simple, and we'll do our word watch.
Word watch.
Now, I thought I had a segue, which I did before. We were talking about just getting our lives together or something, DVDs, Blu-rays, whatever. But just to make small enhancing alterations or to titivate. Sorry. So then that is the word titivate. I meant to say it in a more kind of sensual way. I have to drop it down an octave. Hey, let's titivate those bushes over there to make it look more appealing and attractive to the neighbors. Just little alterations.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, how about you titivate your wardrobe, put some jewelry on or some bracelets? I don't know titivate. Just
you didn't practice this part, huh?
I didn't. I just knew the delivery of what I wanted to say. I just didn't have any actual examples. And I went with bushes because that is the picture. Because usually when they send me these words, there's like some kind of picture that goes along with it. Or they try to anyway. And then there's some way who's just like trimming the hedges. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. You make small little alterations to make it look better, more appealing and pleasing. Gotcha. I get it. And then the second definition would be to make oneself look attractive. So that's why I thought like, oh, throw some jewelry on or something to help you enhance your attractiveness, I suppose, or at least to yourself. So yeah, titivate. And plus titivate sounds titillating to me. Just
it does. That's what I keep thinking of. Titillate.
Right. Titillate, but titivate. So to titillate, you need to wow, I'm tripping over my own words now, but I made this bed. I will sleep in it. To titillate, you need to titivate. There you go. Nailed it.
Say that 10 times fast.
No, I will not. Not right now. I will do that on the Patreon. Well, let's bring back a segment I know we have not done in a long time, and I'm sure some people will get excited for. And
Good morning, Sheboygan.
that's right. We have Sheboygan news. And where did all my news articles go? Oh, there they are. But you would like this one. Sheboygan's Wheel Center brings Spamilton, an American parody, to the stage on Saturday.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Spamilton, an American parody, will take the stage at the Wheel Center for the Performing Arts at 8 p.m. probably this Saturday. Means nothing to us. We won't be there, but bringing its musical comedy crash course in Broadway blockbusters and pop culture zings to the stage. I have to let Berto know about this too. The show, which has performed in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and London, will stage a singing, dancing, and comedy revolution in Sheboygan, accompanied by hip hop and a piano. We know many people are looking for a reason to laugh, said Katie Glotsky, executive director at the Wheel Center, in a news release. After a year of binge watching Broadway favorites on streaming devices, this is our opportunity to present a live culmination of funny moments with a satire that is sure to make everyone smile. Created by Gerard Alessandrini, the comic mastermind behind the long-running hit Forbidden Broadway, Spamilton. Are you familiar with Forbidden Broadway? I have not.
Nope. Never heard of it, but it sounds awesome.
I meant to look it up, but I was like, I'm running out of time. So Spamilton, an American parody, features 58 Broadway references, a handful of, again, air quotes, celebrity guests, more than 30 costume changes, six puppets.
Oh, not one, but six.
And more than 50 recognizable songs. Regardless of if you are a lover of Broadway or haven't been to a show, if you like to laugh, you will want front row seats for this spectacle. Tickets for, that's just information. So yeah, that is what is that called again? Spamilton? Yeah, Spamilton.
Spamilton. I was thinking Spam a lot, but that's wrong.
Right.
That's a whole different one.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if I would, it does. If I got the chance to see it, I probably would. Although I would. No caveats there. I was going to say, well, hopefully they record it so eventually you can see it somehow in some capacity.
Has Spamalot ever been recorded, to your knowledge?
I feel like it has. I know I've never seen it, but I've definitely heard about it because it's been around for years. But
right,
I'm pretty sure it's been recorded. And
I think so.
Oops, I googled the wrong thing. So yeah, it's available out there somewhere. Oh wait, Spamalot will begin filming this year. Released is expected this year. Okay. All right, so we'll keep a lookout for that. Interesting indeed. And I have no transition. I'm just going to go down the list to, or maybe I should get the article first so that way I can just kind of go right into reading it. Maybe. I don't know. It's been so long since I've done this.
Since you've done the show?
No, since I've done transitions and segues and all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah. Come on, it's in your blood. You got it.
I know. I need an actual like soundboard that's separate from the rest of the recording apparatus, so I can just like push a button. There it is. Black history. Facts. Yes. So that means we're going to a Black History Facts now. Nice. And this one how did this one come to me? I think it was like not breaking news, but like a recent news article. So I was pretty excited to get it. I'm like, ooh, just got to save this one. I only read the headline and I finally read the actual article. And yes, here we go. This is just the headline, so we'll get into it. On Route 66, a family is restoring the only gas station built for Black travelers.
Ooh.
Yes. So if you were to travel on Route 66 in the early 1900s, you'd probably pass the Threat, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing their name right. It's spelt as the word threat, but with two T's at the end.
Okay.
So you probably passed the Threat Filling Station, a family-owned gas station for Black travelers traversing the famous route from Chicago to Southern California. But after closing in the 1970s, the station eventually fell into disrepair. Now the Threat family is looking to revitalize and preserve it. The Threat Filling Station, located near Luther, Oklahoma, was a place where Black travelers could fill up their tanks and grab something to eat. The property, which was originally 160 acres, eventually expanded to also include a farm, a field for Negro League baseball games, an outdoor stage, and a bar for those wanting to dance the jitterbug. Ah, man, I miss the jitterbug. Do you? Or...
I can't say I miss it. It's a neat little ditty though.
Now, is that the one where you get your finger just up in the air and
I think
don't know.
so.
Okay.
Look, I don't know. We're gonna say yes though, because that's in my mind when I hear jitterbug. That's what I see. You know.
Right. That's one of two dances I know how to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The other one is the Harlem Shake. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Alan Threat Sr. built the station around 1915, and it continued to operate until it closed in the 1970s, according to Ed Threat, one of Alan's grandsons. Ed Threat and other relatives are now working to restore the historic property. It's a part of Black history within the state of Oklahoma, Ed Threat said. For him to acquire 160 acres of land in the Jim Crow era, that's no small feat. Not at all, sir.
That's true.
Oklahoma was home to a number of sundown towns, according to Linda Ozan, Deputy State Historic Preservation Officer in Oklahoma. These were communities where Black people weren't welcome after sunset, so if they were traveling through, they'd have to keep driving at night. Places like the Threat Filling Station offered respite for Black travelers along Route 66. Now, you and I have discussed sundown towns before, and I remember you even telling me that you had to ride through one, I think, because of work or something. So,
yeah, wasn't fun.
I can't even say I could imagine, because I haven't driven through one before. However, that is the basis of one of the episodes of Lovecraft Country. So they portrayed it very well, but there's also another reason why it's a sundown town, and you have to watch the show to find out. It's a great show. Love it. In a state that was racially segregated, had many sundown towns, had neighborhoods that were deeded with restrictions on racial ownership. The Threat family had a successful farm and business through the 20th century, she said. As a location for Black travelers, the Threat Filling Station was critical. The Threat family homesteaded in the area when land was opened in 1889 and land allotments had been established. They raised crops on the farm, sold sandstone from the quarry, and then opened and operated the filling station as associated businesses. But according to Ozan, the property's importance reverberated far beyond Oklahoma. From the Negro baseball teams playing games on their field to famous musicians and actors stopping at this facility on their way to and from California, the national significance of this location cannot be emphasized enough, Ozan said. Jennifer Sandy, field director for the National Trust for Historic Preservation, agreed. She noted that a 1939 newspaper clipping indicates the Threat Filling Station may have been the only Negro station in the U.S. at the time, and it was likely the only Black-owned filling station on Route 66. The impressive variety of services demonstrated a creative entrepreneurial spirit to succeed at a time when being Black and operating a successful business on Route 66 was not common. In 2021, the Threat Filling Station made the National Trust for Historic Preservation's most endangered historic places list. Ozan said it's a big step in getting the property national recognition, according to the National Trust. In its 34-year history, more than 300 places have been listed. In that time, fewer than 5% of listed sites have been lost. The complex represents the power of Black entrepreneurship and family stewardship through generations. It helps illuminate important but underrepresented stories of life along the iconic Route 66, Sandy said. Since the first list was issued in 1988, it has helped to save a diverse range of places that tell the American story, including Angel Island Immigration Station in San Francisco Bay. This one will be familiar to you, Courtney. Little Rock Central High School in Arkansas. The soaring TWA terminal at New York's JFK Airport, and cultural landscapes like Bears Ears in Utah. Don't know what that is. Because the threat.
I said, I don't know. I don't know either on
Oh,
that one.
I will have to look that up later because I'm curious what it looks like. Better look like Bears Ears. Because the threat filling station was family owned, it did not have to answer to a parent company when it came to design, Ozan said. That makes it even more distinctive from other gas stations in the state, particularly as it is used native stone quarried from a nearby farm. The use of locally sourced stone and its specific patterning make this an unusual design and type across Oklahoma, which it is. There's pictures of it and it looks very nice. It looks like something I would want to photograph myself, or at least photograph being there. I don't know. I will definitely post the link in the show notes so you can read all of it, because I decided it's like, okay, that's the majority of it, of that particular article. But yeah, I would actually would like to travel Route 66 just to do it, because every so often I get that itch just to drive somewhere.
Just to go. Yeah.
And what better place than the original Route 66, not the new one.
Right.
The classic.
Yeah.
Classic one.
That's awesome. About them restoring the gas station, and that's pretty cool. I wonder just how they were able to do that. I mean, I can only imagine just the I don't know, the trials that they had to go through just to get their own business and to keep it running for so long. That's just crazy.
It is. And the thing I was looking for, which I'm looking for now, is to see how to, like, if you wanted to donate, there is a link on that article, but I think I'll also post that link in the show notes, because I would like to donate. And because I would like to go check it out.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, I don't have any other reason to go to Oklahoma, unless they have like some really good like barbecue meats or something, that's a whole nother thing that I would like to do. Just travel the country, just trying different like cuisines that might be local to that state.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Isn't that what's his name does? One of those like
Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, but he just goes anywhere and just starts eating people's food. So,
well, I mean, you can't hate on that. It's not a bad business plan.
It isn't, and he's very successful at it, because he's been doing that show for so many years. And in fact, like it became like almost comfort TV for me when I like traveled to like outside Boston, like way back when we did that episode about St. Patrick's Day, and I was in that hotel room, and it mysteriously changed to Fox News because I believe ghosts were there. So old Republican ghosts, I believe they were in the room. Gosh, yes,
those are the worst.
Absolutely, because they keep changing the channel. They want to watch, I don't know, whatever was on at the time. So, I mean, I also thought maybe murder, because it was like fresh paint. So who knows? So yes, go relive that episode. I keep forgetting. That was like one of the not top rated episodes, but it did spawn a shirt, which was very popular. A lot of people bought the Daddy's Dairy shirt.
Really?
Yes.
It's so something.
I mean, it is a real ice cream parlor across the street from the hotel that I stayed at, but it was still it's still very weird. Like, that's the only thing there. It's just that one lone ice cream parlor called Daddy's Dairy.
Daddy's Dairy.
I'm still
many questions. I mean, don't get it.
It must be a front for something else. I don't know.
Or maybe
seem
they're just really bad at marketing
I
and
don't know,
branding.
and I helped them out by making them a shirt that matched their same exact like font that they used on their
Mm-hmm.
store, and just an emoji of some ice cream, and they're like, perfect. Let's buy 10 of them for all of our workers.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking that's what happened. So we'll see. So we leave Oklahoma, we leave Boston, and let's go to space. So what's the headline? Growing space junk could give Earth its own Saturn-like rings.
Oh my gosh. That is the dumbest thing I've heard in a long
That was not the response I was thinking
time.
you would give me.
It's just stupid. Did you hear that? We're such slobs, Earth, as a species.
Mhm.
Earth is not. You know what I mean? Earth is not
Earthlings?
a species. Earthlings are such slobs that we have so much crap in space that we're now going to eventually like get Saturn-like rings. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. At least Saturn has actual space debris. Like it has
Like it wasn't
you
from the
know,
actual planet or the people
right.
inhabiting. Mhm. Not
So
people, the
stupid.
Saturnins, I suppose. Saturninians?
Saturnites.
Saturnites. Okay.
I don't know. But that's just okay, please I'm so
The
sorry.
citizens of Saturn did not make stuff to
They
put it
didn't
in the ring. Mhm.
right. Artificial crap to put in space. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I,
That was
I'm
so
no, no,
rude.
no. I mean, this is why I bring you some of these news articles to see how you react to them. And this was a
Mm.
surprising reaction. I
What did
thought
how was I supposed to react?
I thought you'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like,
Not cool. We're
that's innovative.
disgusting. No, no, innovative. No, we're stupid humans,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't even. We're destroying Earth, the only planet that we know to survive on. It can survive on, and now
Currently,
we're
right?
gonna. Yeah, and currently, I mean, sure, there's other ones out there, I'm sure, but come on, we haven't found them yet. Also, we're here now. Why don't we take care of it now? Anyway, and then
True.
we're also putting our crap out in space.
Now I will post this article. I won't read it. I'll just summarize this one. And and you're right. What you're saying is completely correct, and it is something that is highlighted in this article about how we keep leaving trash up there as we either go up. And I mean, it starts talking about Sputnik, which I thought came back to Earth, but apparently still floating
So
around
it's
out
just
there.
still out there kicking it. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. Did Hubble come back?
That's a good
I
question.
thought Hubble came back, but I don't know that. Because
No,
there's that new one.
I think Hubble was broken, and they had to go up there and fix it
Well,
because like.
I knew that they retired it because you've got the James Webb one that's out now,
Mm-hmm.
but it's supposed to be not just like an Earth's atmosphere. It's supposed to go, I believe, like deep space, like as far as like possible. Have you heard about that one?
Look at you bringing the space news, but yes, I
I
have.
know. So, well, I'm pretty interested in it because it's supposed to be like just this baddie of a a spacecraft,
It
and
is.
it's I mean it's pretty sweet, and like just the stuff that they're doing for it. I don't know all the jargon and all the stuff, but it sounds really cool.
It
And
does.
so I'm
Right. It pales in comparison compared to the Hubble. So I think it has like um, not radio telescopes on it as many
yeah,
other kinds,
yes.
and being able to see a lot farther and a lot clearer.
Mhm. Mhm.
A lot of things that the Hubble can't see, and a lot of stuff that we can't see on
Exactly.
Earth. So yeah.
Exactly. It's just so cool. And so, but I thought Hubble was retired, um, which I don't know. I guess I assumed that meant it came back to Earth, like the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, now that I'm talking about it, I can't with 100% certainty like say that. So I don't know where Hubble is right now.
Just flying around, or maybe not. But
Child,
I
I guess.
can
I
I
don't
can
know.
let you know momentarily where it is or what it's doing. And it's I don't know, it doesn't seem to be done based on
Hmm.
some of the schematics I'm looking at. It's a whole bunch of numbers, but it says end of mission decay date is 2030 to 2040. So I guess it's still
Oh,
operational.
I guess so. Yeah. Hmm.
It's
I
just
thought it
going to
was
be.
retired,
I don't know.
but I wonder if retired means they're just not gonna like fix it anymore. I thought retirement for a spacecraft meant that it was not going to be operational anymore. Um, but maybe I don't know what it means now because 2030 is not like now, like I
It's not
thought.
now, but it is soon, which is probably why they definitely had to get Jack Webb up. It's Jack Webb, right?
James,
James Webb.
I think it's James Webb.
Yeah, I think Jack Webb is a detective on Dragnet. So yeah. See, I'm getting all my pop culture just
Yeah, it's
twisted.
okay.
It's fine. Yeah. But yes, James, I think that's why they also had to send the new telescope up because this one
Hmm.
was starting to. It's not as great. Like it's outdated already because of all the technology we've had since it's been put up there in the
My
90s.
my question, thought it was the 80s. I don't know. But my question is, what does decay date mean? Does that mean it's gonna stay up there until it just like disintegrates on its own, or is it gonna be part of our like Earth's new rings, debris rings? Like,
I'm
what does that mean?
I'm thinking it might be when they probably maybe stop updating it or they just stop taking care of it. But I think at that point, because of its size, I would think that they would want to send it back to Earth. So at least it'll burn up in the atmosphere rather than just leave it there. And
Hmm.
because I don't think there's like space mold or anything that or space rust.
Space mold?
What I mean, that's what we think of decay. Well, I think of decay. I think of things molding over or getting rusty, and but it just isn't functional like it should be anymore. Because again, it would
Yeah,
be let's see, like 40 years old by then, 40, 50 years,
something like that.
and yeah, we've. I mean, there's technology up there that's so old. Like I don't think we even
Yeah.
use calculators that are that old. So,
I don't know.
well, I'm thinking of the ones that have like those little for little solar panel things, like it's
Oh
solar
yeah,
operated.
yeah.
But I mean, now you just pull out your phone and do all the
Right.
calculations, or you just ask Google to calculate the thing
Do
for
it
you.
for you. Yeah.
Right. So
Guilty of that.
James Webb hopefully has Google on it, and it can just they're like Google, what am I looking at? So they'll just have conversations with each other, AI and the telescope. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
but all the things that it does, I don't know. I'll have to bring that to you next episode. So that way we can
Hmm.
take a deep dive into space with James Webb, not Jack Webb, because Jack Webb will just wants to arrest you. But no, it's
Hmm.
like just got one more question. Sorry, that was Columbo. It's not Jack Webb.
Gotcha.
Yes, get it all together. So as for the ring or rings around Earth, they want to do that using magnets, or at least the magnetic field of Earth, at least to get
Stupidest
things
thing.
started. I know I got you all like it's like, oh yeah, James Webb.
I'm
All right, mad again.
mad.
But
Mad.
the reason why is because it is an effort to kind of clean up the mess that we made. So that way we can
By
continue.
making it by making it pretty. Is that the solution?
I
That's what we
mean,
came up with, guys.
it's organizing the trash. So at least it's just in one band rather than just surrounding the planet. And then we can't leave or come back, like gravity, that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Is it the Kepler effect? Kempler? See.
Keep yeah, it's something like that. I don't recall the exact name though. Because I saw that movie once and I left it behind. Okay.
Mm. Oh no, it stays with me because I mean,
The
I
movie
was
freaked
forced
me
to
out.
sit. I was forced to sit like in the front row or close to it because
Uh-huh.
my lovely friend, she was like, "No, let's sit here." I'm like, "Why? We've got all these other spaces, the seats." Just it's like I want to get up close. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And I had a bag of Skittles with me, and
Uh-huh.
I clutched that bag of Skittles so tight. I'd never even opened it, but then by the time like I don't know. A few days later, I decided I was like, "Oh yeah, those Skittles that are all crushed up over there, they fused together because I was squeezing them so tightly,
Oh no.
and they're just it's like oh memories." So
That
yeah,
movie, yeah. So I didn't eat during that movie. I don't recall, but I don't remember breathing either. So like it's such a stressful movie. This is why I watched it. It was a beautiful and terrifying cinematic masterpiece. But I was like, I'll never watch this movie ever again. I can't. It was so terrifying.
I think you can watch it like on a smaller screen, though. It doesn't have the same effect.
I mean, sure, but the story didn't capture me enough to need to see it again either. Like it was very much real. It was more of like a horror movie documentary type feel. And so it wasn't so much entertaining to me. Like I've been dying to see Interstellar again because I know that there's a lot of like sciencey things that I missed or just different, just movie making magic that I missed that I want to re-see it. Plus Daniel for some reason has not seen Interstellar and it's super sus, but whatever. And so I want to watch it again, but there's a lot of like, the story is not quite as heavy and as real. It's real, but it's not as dark and genuinely terrifying as Gravity is to me. So I have no desire to rewatch that movie for entertainment value.
I understand.
No.
And yeah, it does have this documentary-esque feel to it. And it's the Kessler syndrome that we're...
Kessler, okay.
Yeah.
And what exactly is that again? Will you remind the audience?
It's a scenario in which the density of objects in low Earth orbit due to space pollution is high enough that collisions between objects could cause a cascade in which each collision generates space debris that increases the likelihood of further. Right. Yeah, it just gets worse and worse.
Makes sense.
Almost like a exploding, I was going to say exploding snowball effect, but as the snowball rolls down a hill, it gets bigger. It's just things just keep colliding.
Debris, just keep colliding until the debris gets worse and worse. It like breaks down even more, creating more debris.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to see this movie ever again. It's giving me the heebies right now.
But it is a beautiful film though. Like when it's not as stress intenseful, it's just like, wow, you're doing great. And Sandra Bullock, you look great out there in space, just floating around.
I mean, she's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely one of her better films. So
yeah.
Points. And it's got a great like score too, like her re-entry into Earth. Like I think I've actually listened to that a few times just on its own, but it's just so invigorating. But at the same time, I just get really hot because I'm like, I'm re-entering Earth's atmosphere. So yeah, just
that's anxiety, my friend.
no, it's just exciting. It's exciting.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. Anxiety is The Quiet Place. So that's anxiety.
Yes.
That was a movie I was afraid to breathe.
The second one.
It's good. I think it probably would have been more terrifying in the theater too, like I saw the first one.
Yeah.
Which I think I called you immediately after because I'm like, I can't believe I did it. I went to go see a scary movie by myself. And it was absolutely terrifying. And this is why I don't do these things.
So proud of you. Yeah.
And I was tense for a few days. Like,
yeah.
What was that? Oh, heard a noise. Oh no, they're coming to get me. Okay.
Yeah, that was a scary movie to watch. And then like go home and have to just live your life after seeing a movie
all this constant noise.
Yes.
Just dropped a sock. Oh my God, they're gonna find me. So yeah.
They're gonna find you. Yep.
So yes, Earth is going to put rings around the planet to, clear it up a little bit. I want them to do something similar where they can get all the junk from the sea because there's a lot of that. Fish eat it, and we eat the fish. We got plastic in us now. So yeah. Let's figure this out. Let's work it out. Let's get our lives together. Is that that's the last one. The last segment that has a jingle that I have. All right. We made it through. Sorry, it's been a while since I had an actual rundown. So the way I wrote it, it wasn't like in any order. It was just like, well, we'll talk about that. We'll get there. So, and plus there's a whole bunch of other things just floating around in my mind because I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that. And we'll talk about that, but I'll wait for that for later. And I guess we'll just move on into our moments of gratefulness. Is there something you're grateful on this day?
I am grateful for, you know, just 2 weeks off of work. That
Preach.
it was not planned. Well, one week of that was not planned because nobody really plans to catch COVID.
Mm.
But it was a forced way of having to slow down and really rest and like having guilt-free rest. Because I really didn't do anything at all last week but lay in bed for many hours in the day and watch TV and like nap
Mm.
on and off. And it was amazing.
Mm.
Fortunately for me, COVID is a very real thing. It's a devastating thing, but fortunately for me, my case was very mild and it was uncomfortable at times, but not as bad as what it could have been.
Right.
And so I'm very fortunate that it was mild. And so for me, it was just like a pretty, not even a bad cold, but just a mild cold is what it felt like for me. But I was forced to just rest and do nothing. And it was amazing. And
Mm.
so this week I was already scheduled off of work. Um, and so now I'm able to enjoy it and do the things I was planning to do while being off this week. But I'm just grateful to be able to take that time off of work and have it all paid, time off of work, and
Yes, yes, indeed.
just live life the way I would love to live it more often, which is not working it all away. So
Well, not
I'm
working where
grateful
you're
for that.
working. So yeah.
Well, but just able to enjoy life and relax and chill and clean the
Mm.
house and
Mm.
just chill.
Almost sounds like stress-free adulting.
Yes, this is what I strive for. This is what
Mm.
I want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, in that same token, or I mean, even regarding COVID too, just I'll it's gonna sound kind of like a blanket statement, but we'll get into it because, like I said earlier at the top of the show, I kind of wanted to get into this, but like I'm actually grateful for government assistance when it works.
Mm-hmm.
When it works,
Mm-hmm.
that's the little asterisk there. But yeah,
Yeah.
because well, I'll say you are the second person out of 3 or 4 people had told me today about it being announced that the COVID tests are now like the take home or the at home test will be made available, just be mailed to you and all that
Yeah.
wonderful, great things.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I had been applying for things just to help out, just because I'm living, with my family and just trying to survive and make it. But there were just so many people that have been telling me about all these different resources I could use that's from the government. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like, well, let me just sign up or do what I have to do to take advantage of this. And now not my cable, but my internet bill is cut in half now. So that's a great blessing there. These tests will be arriving. Not only that, but I will just talk about my own church, which we have opened our warming center because it does get pretty chilly up here. But it's because of the, I think I did mention it at the last episode, the cyclone bomb cyclone. Basically, it's just got very, very cold, very, very fast. But because it's been so cold, we've had to keep the warming center open like 24/7. Well, not 7, but 24 hours for a few days.
Yeah.
And because we're doing that, because we're being so helpful for the city is helping us. And I think they'll be sending us money just to make sure our furnace is working correctly, because I mean, what good is a warming center if it can't be warm? But they're also sending the church a whole bunch of COVID tests. So we'll have them that the church members can use, but also the people at the warming center can have too.
Good.
So that was when you texted me earlier, and I told you I was going to text you in a bit. That's what I was going to tell you. It was that it's like, yeah. So not only my wife took care of getting the mail-in test, but we'd also have access to tests at the church too. So
good.
So tests are all around thanks to the government. Well, I mean, that is if you can get to them, and that has been the struggle. but hopefully that's something that will kind of ease out, just like with all the vaccines and booster shots. At one point that was difficult, but now it was so much easier to get a booster shot than it was to get a test like a week ago. So
Yeah, that's true.
so with that, I
Tests are
definitely.
still tests are still a little iffy around here, but
Mhm.
I found a new plug, so
Oh, good.
it gives
Nice.
results pretty easily. So thank
Mm.
God
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we're getting it together.
So yeah, for me today, that is what I'm grateful for. Because in like even before we started uh recording, I was getting like text messages from other things I applied to. I'm like, oh, that just came through. Awesome, great. So that's my little moment I'm grateful for. Sorry about that. Now, do you have any recommendations? I know because you've been watching a lot of things. So
So many things, let me tell you. So I recommend Cheer. I finally got on that bandwagon. I think it came out in 2020, and you know, it's on Netflix, and I put it on like my list, but I never watched it. And then I watched it this like a couple days ago, both
mm,
seasons, and I love it so much. It's the documentary that I really needed to watch. It's like a
mm,
docu series, but I love a good docu series or a documentary
me
even.
too.
And yeah, and so like, but I'm not in the mood these days to watch true crime because it's just like,
It can be
uh,
depressing.
it's very depressing. And I'm like, yeah, I need something a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit less murdery, you know? Um,
Well, there are
and so
subgenres which I'm starting to find when it comes to true crime.
that is
And
true. I mean, there's stuff that doesn't, or there's ones that don't have anything to do with murder, but the ones that I've been finding lately, it's all murderous. And
mostly
I'm
stabby,
like,
stabby. Just yeah.
oh, stabby, stabby. I don't want to rapey. Yeah, I don't want to. That's not my thing right now. So I'm looking for other docs that I can watch that are not quite as heavy. But
Mm-hmm.
Cheer was one of them. Now it does touch on some heavy subjects and like really heartbreaking stuff. Actually, in season two, it goes into something that I just still am like, oh my god, I cannot believe this. This is crazy. Um, but the majority of the series is um more tolerable, and it's just a great watch.
Mm.
um so I love Cheer. Watch it if you haven't. um yeah, give it a shot.
Hmm. Okay. I may because we were texting about it before, and
Yes.
I'm definitely more aware of it now than I was. Although I was aware of it just in name, and I think maybe it might
Mm-hmm.
have showed up just in the, and not in the queue, but just like as you're scrolling and like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
what to watch. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's that. Um, but I will say my recommendation is the Last Movie Ever Made podcast, which
Oh.
is a, yeah, I know I also told you about this today too,
Mm-hmm.
which is a basically a behind the scenes oral version or audio version of the making of Don't Look Up, which just
Mm-hmm.
came out on Netflix a few months, couple 8 months ago, back in December. Yeah, feels like so long. It was only just mere weeks, but
Right.
a movie that you and I have both watched, and I would you say that you enjoyed it? I know it stuck with you in a while for a while and kind of left you feeling like,
Some type of way.
yeah.
Yeah, so I did enjoy the movie. The movie was, I love the style of it. I mean, it was very much satire in a way that, but it captured like a lot of really hard truths as well, which I guess a good satire can do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I love Leo and J Law. I loved watching them, and the other characters that of course I can't think of their names. But it was I thought it was very good. It's very entertaining, great movie. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I definitely recommend it.
As do I. And I would say if you liked the movie, then I do recommend this podcast, which is still at the time of recording, still ongoing. I
Mm,
don't know how many episodes it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like 6 episodes. I might
mm.
be confusing with another podcast that's a limited series, but there's only 3 episodes out as of right now. The first one really is about Adam McKay, the director and writer, who kind of came up, how he came up with the idea and when
Yeah.
he started to like put pen to paper, and all of this happening, I think just before 2020.
Wow.
And I think because they wanted to actually start production, they started production like in March 2020, and then
Oh,
all of
and
this
then they
started
got shut
happening.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's
I
crazy.
think that's how it happened, or it was just about to begin in 2020, or just about to begin. Either way, a lot of what was happening during the pandemic was starting to kind of reveal itself within the movie itself.
Mm,
So
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
it is. And um the next episode, I think it was just more so just the production, all the protocols they had to go through in order just to
Hmm.
kind of get the movie started. And you get to hear from all the actors that are there. So you get to hear Leo, you get to hear
Oh,
J
nice.
Law, and then the third episode is when um, Meryl Streep arrives, and how just there's
Hmm.
just a whole change of like everyone is just like, oh my god, it's Meryl Streep, because I mean it's Meryl
Right.
Streep. So,
Right.
and then how she got into character, and yeah, it's great. So I've really been enjoying it. It's only like 3 episodes. I'm like, oh man, I need more. So I have to wait patiently. Like, just I don't know how long it's going to be, but I definitely say it's recommended, especially if you like the movie, as I did, and I'm wondering how they're gonna continue going on. So
So, does the podcast, does it touch on the heavier aspects of the movie? I don't know if I'm ready to relive that yet.
I would say if it does, it would probably be in the first episode. I mean, again, I've only heard there's only 3 episodes out so far,
Hmm.
and most of it is about just the production, or just how they are putting the story together, or just filming it, and everybody's experience through the pandemic. Because
Mm,
a good chunk of it, I would say, maybe in the second episode, is about how they had to um, self isolate throughout the whole production, like including Thanksgiving,
mm.
and how all of them were
No,
all in their own rooms watching like either the parade or having like video calls with their family.
that
And
sucks.
yeah, so at times it's more about that than it is what themes they were touching in on the story. And like I
Mm,
said, that's more so in the first episode, because it's all about how Adam McKay wanted to talk about, specifically about global warming, but make it in a way where people will actually listen to him, or kind
mm.
of just maybe take it more seriously. And that's where he kind of got the ideas. Like, it's kind of as if an asteroid was coming straight towards Earth, and people are like, oh, look at that. We got a few months. And really it's, and then when it finally does happen, they're still kind of like doubting that it's happening. Yes, I'm giving you the plot of the movie, but that's how he kind of came to writing the script and getting people on board to do it. And pretty much everybody that he wanted, they all were on board. So
Yeah. Mm.
I'll say you'd be fine listening to it without reliving too much of the movie. I mean, obviously it will remind you of the movie because that's what it's about, but I think you'll be okay.
Well, I definitely want to give it a shot just because I really did. I love the movie, as dark as it got and as hard hitting. I guess it was hard hitting for me because like we're seeing a lot of the parallels that the movie draws. Um, you see
Hmm.
it, we're seeing it play out in real time in real life,
Right.
and it's not a parody, it's like real life. And so I guess I think of it that way, but I do also love a good making of series, and I love to know their thought processes behind everything. And so I'll give it a shot, and hopefully it won't scar me even more than the movie did.
Oh no. I think if anything, it'll make you appreciate more of what they went through to make this movie. So,
Hmm.
because that's what it's doing for me, and I'm already like, I'm ready to watch this again. So knowing, how
Okay.
what's going to happen. So that way
Yeah.
I'm already prepared for it. So that's where I kind of land on it.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's a good way of thinking of it.
Yeah. I mean, that tends to happen. I mean, for the both of us, we'll watch either like a breakdown or behind the scenes and like, oh, okay. So then you go back and watch it again and pick up on all those things that they, yeah. So that's kind of how I feel. And yeah, you'll be fine. So yeah, go listen to that and then go watch it.
Okay.
And then
Sounds
maybe we'll end
good.
up talking about it again, along with Signs, of course. So
yeah.
So what would you like to plug, if you like to plug anything, or where can people find you if you want to be found?
Sure. People can find me on the Twitters at I am K Hinton.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. You did it again where you just kind of, it sounds like, I don't know, maybe I'm waiting for like .com or something. I don't know, something that just sounds like there's a period there. It sounded more like an ellipsis.
Simple. Yeah, nope. It's just pretty simple these days. I crave the simplicity, and that's what I'm, going for.
I get it. Same with me. You can follow me on all things at Indoob. So I am on TikTok. I only have one TikTok video there, but I've been trying to get better at following people back, or just, if it's suggested like, hey, you might know this person. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. I mean, whatever. So if you happen to listen to this and you follow me and I haven't followed you back, then you have to kind of send me a message and maybe I will follow you back. I may not necessarily interact with you. I'll try. I'll try. I'll do my best, especially if you mention the show.
Come on.
I mean, hey, if you mention the podcast, then I will definitely message you back. Yes. Or follow you back. Absolutely. On Instagram. Better. Yes. On Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, Facebook. Meh. That's a struggle right there. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'll toe the line. Like I'll like peek in. I'll see that there's a message there, and if I know I can reach you somewhere else, then I will do that. It's like, hey, I saw you send me a Facebook message. Welcome to TikTok. I don't know. Well, whatever. But yeah, follow me on all things at Indoob. Tell someone you value that you value them. Live without regrets and live for the folks you love before the asteroid hits. Please wash your legs, face, bottoms of your feet, and the undersides of your dishes. But then again, if the world's going to end, it doesn't matter. Get vaccinated and wear your mask, preferably KN95 or an N95. Because I guess those other ones just aren't cutting it.
They ain't cutting it with this Omarion variant running around here.
Better get with the rest of them boys and get out of here. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've been your benevolent host, T. Sterling Watson. And remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off.
No.
Or hit with an asteroid.
Oh my God. It's the worst.
Actually, that doesn't really work because it's gravity.
You're falling off. So yeah, the gravity comes towards you. But if you're falling off.
Or watch the movie Gravity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gravity moment where you're literally falling in the void of space.
Oh, we can go join Frozen George Clooney.
Oh,
too soon?
I forgot about that part. Thanks
too soon?
So much.
Too soon?
Oh. How am I going to sleep tonight?
I mean, that movie came out 9 years ago. I can do math. 9 years ago. Yes.
Too soon. Too freaking soon.
But it's George Clooney. Terrifying. He's cool. Well, he's ice cold, but he's cool.
Oh my God. He's frozen. He's literally Elsa.
I'm about to say you're frozen. That was a Madonna song. That's when you just said you're frozen. I mean, I heard Madonna.
I didn't say he was. What? Okay. No.
Well, it was how you said it. How you said it, it sounded like Madonna. I mean, you didn't sound like Madonna, but it made me think of the song Frozen by Madonna.
There's a song called Frozen by Madonna?
It is. I mean, there is. Yes. And the video is creepy. You would love it. You're going to love it.
Whatever.
Thanks for listening to the Indoob podcast, which was recorded from the south side of Wakanda in Little New Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive, and is part of the Indoob network. Want more Indoob? Follow on Instagram and Twitter at Indoob and on Facebook at IndoobPod. You can contact us and send ask Indube questions by emailing indupod@gmail.com. Want to support or donate? Find the T Public Store or become a patron on Patreon, where subscribing gives you perks and extra things from the Indube Network. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and share the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Podbean, and wherever else podcasts are found. And of course, visit Indube.com for all of this and much more. Thank you so much for letting us entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Until next time.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.
This has been another 3SFX production.